Have you ever walked away from someone and felt like your soul was drained? I'm about to expose the 5 sinister signs you're dealing with a truly evil person. Not your ordinary bad day vibe, oh no. This is real evil. The kind that slowly eats away at your happiness, your confidence, and even your sense of reality. These are lessons rooted in Stoic wisdom, so you can protect your mind and spirit from their manipulation. Ready to arm yourself with the truth? Let's dive in. Topic 1. The illusion of charisma. Charisma, it's one of the most captivating human traits, but also one of the most dangerous when wielded by the wrong hands. Imagine this, a motivational speaker with a dazzling smile who fills auditoriums with adoring fans. They sell hope and transformation with every word, convincing even the most skeptical minds. But behind the scenes, they exploit their followers for financial gain, promising life-altering secrets that never materialize. This too-good-to-be-true manipulator thrives on charm, leaving countless people betrayed and broken. Such individuals exemplify how charisma can be a mask for malevolent intentions. At first glance, charisma seems innocent, even admirable. After all, who doesn't enjoy the company of someone who makes us laugh, feel special, and believe in limitless possibilities? But charm, when weaponized, becomes a tool for disarming others, lowering their defenses, and creating a false sense of security. This is the first lesson to remember. Not everyone who lights up a room comes with pure intentions. Evil, in its subtler forms, often presents itself as irresistible charm. Stoicism provides a powerful framework for dismantling the illusion of charisma. The Stoics emphasized evaluating people by their actions rather than their appearances or words. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher, once wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." In other words, someone's true nature reveals itself through consistent behavior, not fleeting displays of charm. When assessing a charismatic individual, ask yourself, are their actions consistent with the persona they project? Is their kindness authentic, or is it a calculated performance? Let's explore how manipulative individuals use charisma to blur the lines between their true intentions and the image they craft. Pay attention to patterns of behavior. Do they maintain the same persona in different settings, or do their masks slip when they're out of the spotlight? One telltale sign of manipulative charisma is inconsistency. They may be generous and kind in public, but controlling and dismissive in private. Genuine individuals, by contrast, are consistently kind and self-assured, regardless of the circumstances. Here's a startling truth. Evil doesn't scream, it whispers. Unlike the villains in stories, real-life manipulators don't announce their intentions or wear their deceit openly. Instead, they operate in subtle ways, gradually eroding trust, confidence, and independence. Their tactics often involve planting seeds of doubt or creating dependence, making it harder for their victims to break free. This subtlety is what makes manipulative charisma so dangerous. It's easy to miss the warning signs until it's too late. Trust your instincts. That uneasy feeling you get when someone seems too perfect isn't paranoia. It's your subconscious detecting red flags that your conscious mind hasn't yet processed. Manipulative individuals thrive when you ignore these gut feelings, dismissing them as irrational. The Stoics believed in cultivating rational clarity, which includes recognizing and trusting your intuition as a valuable tool for navigating life's complexities. Think of a charismatic manipulator as a fox in a henhouse. They present themselves as harmless, even helpful, while quietly advancing their own agenda. Would you let a fox guard your chickens? This metaphor underscores the importance of vigilance. It's crucial to evaluate people based on substance rather than appearance or charm. Remember, someone's charisma is not a measure of their integrity. Building on this, it's vital to protect yourself by setting boundaries. Manipulative individuals often test limits to see how much they can get away with. They may push you into uncomfortable situations, guilt-trip you, or make you feel indebted to them. When you establish and enforce boundaries, you disrupt their ability to exploit you. Stoicism encourages maintaining a strong sense of self and resisting external pressures, qualities that are invaluable when dealing with deceptive personalities. As we delve into the complexities of manipulative charisma, it's important to reflect on why we're drawn to it in the first place. What makes someone's charm so magnetic? Often it's because they tap into our need for validation, connection, or inspiration. By understanding these vulnerabilities, we can build resilience and become less susceptible to external manipulation. As the Stoics taught, true strength comes from within, not from the approval or validation of others. In conclusion, charisma is a double-edged sword. While it can inspire and uplift, it can also deceive and harm when wielded by manipulative individuals. Stay vigilant, stay grounded, and remember the wisdom of the Stoics. Evaluate people by their actions, not their words or appearances. The illusion of charisma may be captivating, but you hold the power to see through it. Buckle up. The next red flag we'll uncover is even darker. Let's keep shedding light on the shadows. Topic 2. Gaslighting. Twisting reality. Imagine this. Elena, a confident young woman, notices her favorite book missing from its usual spot. When she asks her partner about it, he replies with a nonchalant, "What book? You've never owned that." She brushes it off at first, but similar incidents pile up. A misplaced mug, forgotten conversations, always met with dismissive or contradictory responses. Slowly, Elena begins to doubt herself. Her memory, once sharp, now feels unreliable, as her partner's lies twist her sense of reality. This calculated manipulation isn't just inconsiderate, it's the insidious tactic known as gaslighting. Gaslighting, in its simplest yet most dangerous form, is the act of distorting someone's perception of reality to gain power over them. It's not an innocent misunderstanding or disagreement. Instead, it's a deliberate effort to make you question your thoughts, memories, and judgment. By sowing doubt and uncertainty, the manipulator tightens their control, leaving their victim isolated and dependent on them for truth. Thankfully, the Stoics left us invaluable tools to confront manipulation, like gaslighting. Marcus Aurelius, a beacon of Stoic thought, reminded us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Stoicism teaches clarity of thought and rational detachment, both of which are antidotes to the confusion that gaslighting creates. Instead of being swept up by emotional distortions, grounding yourself in reason helps you resist the manipulator's grip. One of the most effective weapons in a gaslighter's arsenal is language. Common phrases like "you're overreacting," "that never happened," or "you're imagining things" might seem trivial, but they carry immense psychological weight. These words invalidate your experiences and feelings, planting seeds of self-doubt. Over time, these dismissals wear down your confidence, making you reliant on the manipulator's distorted version of reality. Recognizing these patterns is crucial. When these phrases emerge, pause. Ask yourself, is this dismissal fair, or is it an attempt to discredit my truth? Gaslighters don't just manipulate with words, they exploit inconsistency. Watch how they act in private versus public settings. Behind closed doors, their behavior might be harsh, critical, and dismissive. Yet, in public, they often wear a mask of charm and affability. This duality is intentional. It isolates the victim, making it difficult to seek support or validation from others. Stoic principles encourage us to focus on patterns and actions rather than appearances, allowing us to see through their facade. Combating gaslighting requires actionable steps to ground yourself in reality. Journaling is one powerful method. By documenting your experiences, emotions, and interactions, you create a concrete record that validates your memories. When the manipulator attempts to distort your reality, your journal stands as evidence to counter their lies. Additionally, confiding in trusted friends or professionals can provide an external perspective that helps you distinguish truth from manipulation. They want you to believe their lies, but you're stronger than that. This sentiment is the cornerstone of resilience against gaslighting. Manipulators aim to chip away at your self-worth, but your ability to remain steadfast in your truth can outlast their tactics. Elena's story is proof of this. After months of questioning her reality, she confided in a close friend who helped her recognize the manipulation. With support, she was able to confront her partner, reclaim her sense of self, and break free from the cycle. Her journey wasn't easy, but it was worth every moment. Gaslighters aren't just skilled liars. They are experts at hiding truths to maintain control. This concealment is deliberate, calculated, and dangerous. As the next red flag unfolds, remember, what they hide says more than what they show. Together, let's uncover the hidden layers behind their masks and empower ourselves to confront the darkness. Stay vigilant, stay grounded, and most importantly, stay free. Topic 3. Lack of empathy. If you've ever tried to explain your pain and been met with an ice-cold stare, pay attention. That moment, the stark realization that the person you're talking to doesn't care, is deeply unsettling. It's not just hurtful, it's revealing. This lack of empathy isn't a minor flaw or a momentary lapse in kindness. It's a defining characteristic of malevolence, signaling an inability or unwillingness to connect with others on a human level. Empathy, after all, is the glue of human relationships. Without it, connections turn transactional, superficial, and oftentimes toxic. The absence of empathy doesn't always scream its presence. It hides in plain sight, often cloaked in seemingly polite gestures or empty words. Someone might say, "I'm sorry you're feeling that way," but their actions, failing to follow up, offering no support, or dismissing the situation altogether, betray their indifference. True empathy isn't about what people say, it's about what they do. The Stoics knew this well. Their teachings emphasize intentional actions as a reflection of character. Words may charm, but actions reveal the soul. Let's consider a relatable scenario. Imagine Mark confiding in his colleague Dan about losing a loved one. Instead of acknowledging Mark's pain, Dan immediately shifts the conversation, saying, "I had a tough time last week at work too." This casual deflection isn't just insensitive, it's indicative of someone who lacks the capacity to connect with others' emotions. When patterns like these repeat, they expose an empathy deficit that can't be ignored. One of the most dangerous responses to a lack of empathy is rationalization. Maybe they're just having a bad day, or perhaps I'm overthinking it, are excuses we often tell ourselves to justify someone's apathy. While occasional lapses in empathy are human, consistent disregard for others' feelings signals a deeper problem. Recognizing this behavior for what it is, without making excuses, is vital for your emotional health and protection. So what can you do when faced with someone who shows no empathy? Start with boundaries. If someone continually dismisses your emotions, it's essential to assert your limits clearly and firmly. For example, "I need you to listen and validate my feelings. If you can't, this conversation isn't productive." If they persist in invalidating you, it might be time to step back or reevaluate the relationship. Your emotional well-being is not negotiable. Empathy, or the lack thereof, can be illustrated through a vivid metaphor. It's like trying to drink water from a stone. It's impossible. You can't force care or understanding from someone who doesn't have the capacity for it. Accepting this reality can be freeing. It allows you to let go of the hope for change and focus on relationships where empathy flows naturally. Have you ever asked yourself, "Why doesn't this person ever understand me?" This reflection often arises from prolonged exposure to apathy. It's easy to internalize someone's lack of empathy, questioning whether you're asking for too much or being unreasonable. But let's be clear, empathy is a fundamental human trait, not a privilege or luxury. You deserve understanding and care in your relationships, always. Urgency is crucial here. Don't let their apathy erode your self-worth. Being around someone who consistently fails to care can leave you feeling invisible, devalued, and exhausted. Protect yourself by seeking relationships that nurture you and cutting ties with those that drain you. And here's the chilling part. This absence of empathy can evolve into something even darker. Some individuals go beyond indifference and become calculated in their intentions, strategically exploiting others for personal gain. If the lack of empathy made you uneasy, brace yourself for what's next. The next red flag reveals how manipulation shifts from emotional neglect to outright exploitation. Stay with me as we unravel this next layer of malevolence. Topic 4. Exploitation of trust. Ever had someone weaponize your kindness? That's no coincidence. The power of trust is a double-edged sword. It can nurture healthy relationships and connections, but can also become a tool for manipulation. Some individuals are experts at exploiting the trust you generously offer, bending it to serve their selfish agenda. What begins as a simple act of goodwill quickly turns into a liability in the wrong hands. Your trust becomes their weapon, a means of control, deceit, and personal gain. This isn't just bad behavior. It's calculated and harmful, leaving you emotionally drained, financially exploited, and mentally confused. Exploitation of trust often involves deliberate and strategic actions. Manipulators identify their targets carefully, often zeroing in on those who are empathetic, kind-hearted, or vulnerable. Once they've gained your trust, they start using it to their advantage. It might be a friend who borrows money with no intention of paying it back, or a romantic partner who manipulates your emotions by bringing up your past experiences to influence your decisions. Trust is a precious commodity, but in the wrong hands it becomes their currency, spent recklessly at your expense. The Stoics provide a crucial perspective on trust that can act as a safeguard against these manipulative behaviors. Stoic teachings emphasize detaching your happiness from the actions of others, including their trustworthiness. Marcus Aurelius wisely stated, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." In other words, the betrayal of others shouldn't dictate your emotional state or self-worth. Their behavior reflects their own character, not yours, and remembering this principle can be liberating. Let's delve into some real-life examples of trust exploitation. Financial scams are among the most blatant examples. Think of the charismatic con artist who promises incredible returns on investments, earning your trust with their charm and expertise. Before you know it, your savings are gone, leaving you devastated. Emotional manipulation is another common scenario. Imagine a loved one constantly playing the victim, using guilt to coerce you into decisions or actions that benefit them, often at your expense. These manipulative tactics are exhausting and harmful, highlighting the extreme lengths some individuals will go to exploit trust. Now the question arises, how can you protect yourself without becoming overly cynical? It's a delicate balance to maintain. The answer lies in setting boundaries. Recognize that trust is a gift, not an obligation. If someone repeatedly crosses your boundaries or takes advantage of your kindness, it's time to reevaluate the relationship. Communicate your limits firmly and don't hesitate to enforce them. For example, if a friend constantly borrows money but never repays, make it clear that you cannot lend money anymore because it affects your finances. Boundaries are not barriers. They're safeguards for your emotional and mental well-being. Healthy skepticism is another powerful tool in navigating trust. Instead of assuming that someone has good intentions, observe their behavior over time. Trustworthy individuals demonstrate their integrity through consistent actions. Pay attention to patterns. Do their words align with their behavior? Are they consistent in how they treat you? If the answers reveal inconsistencies, it might be time to reassess whether you can rely on this person. Your trust is precious. Don't let just anyone hold it. This phrase underscores the importance of being selective with trust. Whether it involves friends, partners, or colleagues, ensure that the people you trust are genuinely deserving of it. Remember, trust is a two-way street. It should involve mutual respect and care. If someone consistently takes without giving, it's a clear red flag that shouldn't be ignored. This principle applies across all areas of life, from personal relationships to professional environments. Consider the friend who always seems to have an ulterior motive, or the coworker who takes credit for your ideas. These examples demonstrate how exploitation of trust can creep into even the most seemingly benign interactions. Awareness is your best defense. By identifying these patterns early, you can make informed choices about your relationships and interactions. As we close this topic, it's important to note that manipulation doesn't stop with exploitation. It evolves. The most dangerous tactic of manipulative individuals is often their silence. What they conceal or withhold can be more telling than what they reveal. Their silence holds power, and this final sign will uncover the dangers lurking within it. Stay tuned as we peel back the ultimate layer of deceit. The truth is closer than you think. Topic 5, the power of silence, their most dangerous tool. Have you ever sought answers, connection, or reconciliation only to be met with a wall of silence? That silence can sting deeper than insults or accusations, leaving you feeling invisible and powerless. Silence, what is left unsaid, often carries more weight than spoken words. For manipulative individuals, silence is not passive. It is calculated and weaponized to confuse, control, and punish. When wielded skillfully, it becomes one of their most dangerous tools. From a Stoic perspective, silence presents an opportunity for observation and understanding. The Stoics believed in maintaining calm, rational analysis when faced with challenges, rather than reacting impulsively. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." When confronted with manipulative silence, ask yourself, what is its purpose? Is it meant to communicate something, or is it deliberately causing confusion and discomfort? Understanding the motive behind silence is the first step to neutralizing its power. Manipulative silence serves several purposes, often as a tactic to punish or dominate. Consider the classic silent treatment, where someone deliberately ignores you to express disapproval or force compliance. This is not about creating space for reflection or processing emotions. It's about creating discomfort and asserting control. In this context, silence sends a clear message: "You're unworthy of my attention." Its psychological impact can leave the target feeling isolated, insecure, and desperate for resolution. The psychological toll of manipulative silence is particularly harsh on empathetic individuals. Empaths are deeply attuned to the emotions of others and often feel responsible for restoring harmony in relationships. When faced with silence, they may overanalyze the situation, blame themselves, or exhaust their emotional energy trying to fix what they perceive as a problem. This cycle of self-doubt and effort can erode self-esteem and emotional resilience over time. To reclaim your sense of control, start by acknowledging the discomfort this silence creates within you. Ask yourself, why does it hurt? Are you seeking validation, closure, or acknowledgement that the other person refuses to provide? Recognizing how manipulative silence impacts your emotions can empower you to respond strategically instead of reactively. You do not have to let their silence dictate your feelings or actions. Confrontation, done with care, is a powerful way to challenge manipulative silence. Address the behavior directly without hostility. For instance, say, "I've noticed you've been quiet about this. Can we talk openly about what's on your mind?" This invitation places responsibility on the manipulator to respond and demonstrates your willingness to communicate maturely. If they continue to withhold, recognize that their silence says more about them than it does about you. Pause for reflection. Do their silences hold power over you? Why? Often the real power of manipulative silence isn't in the act itself, but in the meaning we attach to it. When we allow someone's silence to control our emotions, we inadvertently give them the upper hand. Reclaiming your power begins with understanding that their silence is not your responsibility, it is theirs. Equipped with practical tools, you can disarm manipulative silence. Asking pointed questions is one strategy. Directly inquire, "Is there something you want to share?" or "What outcome are you hoping for by staying silent?" These questions force the manipulator to confront their behavior and make their intentions clear. Another effective tool is grounding yourself through self-reflection or journaling. Write down your emotions to gain perspective and remind yourself that their silence doesn't define your worth. Here's an empowering truth. Silence doesn't have to paralyze you, it can free you. When manipulative silence is used to trap you, view it as an opportunity to grow stronger. Use this space to build self-awareness, cultivate resilience, and find inner peace. By refusing to let their silence dictate your well-being, you become unshakable. Knowing their weapon is your first step to disarming it. Manipulative silence thrives on confusion and self-doubt, but with observation, confrontation, and clarity, you can strip it of its power. Stay vigilant and remember, their silence may speak volumes, but your strength speaks louder. It's time to break free from their control and reclaim your power. The time to act is now. Evil thrives in the shadows of ignorance and doubt. But you're waking up to the truth. These 5 signs, they're not just lessons, they're your armor. Share this with someone who might need it, because together we can outsmart the darkness and live with clarity, strength, and freedom. Remember, in the words of the Stoics, the obstacle is the way. Stand tall and reclaim your power.